Federal judges, Thomas Jefferson was against them. Article 3 judges said they become despots and tyrants, causing us to shed the blood of patriots and tyrants again every 20 years or so. What's a few thousand dead to refresh the tree of liberty? It's the natural manure of government. Of course, Thomas Jefferson didn't want to see anybody harmed, either do I, but he was talking about what was likely to happen. And sure enough, particularly under the administration of President Trump, federal judges have assumed the power of the presidency without authority and are dictating terms of the American people, which we voted for in putting President Trump in office. One of the biggest offenders is Judge Boasberg, James Boasberg, of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. Frankly, the worst federal court in this country, and that's saying a lot, highly politicized. And it's not just Obama, Biden, and Clinton judges. It's President Trump's own judges there, who he didn't know he was appointing. The names were given to him by lobbyists like the Federalist Society and American Conservative Union, who are making money off of forwarding names. And now he's stuck with the judges on that court. Of course, they can be removed, but the head of the Judiciary Committee, a Republican, Jim Jordan, prefers to go on Fox News, pontificate, carry on, conduct dog and pony shows, and hasn't called one judge in front of the Judiciary Committee. This is the job of the American people to do it through Freedom Watch, to hold these judges accountable. And we are holding them accountable, both legally in court cases, and also we'll hold citizens' grand juries because they're violating their oath of office, which says that they're not to make rulings based on the person, but neutrally based on the law. They don't do that. They're highly political hacks on both sides of the aisle, and they rule according generally as to who put them on the bench. The federal bench, usually campaign contributions, are the reason for that, overwhelmingly, sometimes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we don't get the best and the brightest. We have politicians in robes, worse than politicians. You know, it was Ronald Reagan who said, it's the second oldest profession that they give the first oldest profession a bad name, meaning first being prostitutes. And of course, he was talking about politicians and people in the legal profession, Ronald Reagan. We know that we need to do something about this. Now, yesterday, Pam Bondi, who I believe, notwithstanding, controversy involving Jeffrey Epstein, and I really have not weighed in on that to any great extent because we have to wait and see what the facts say. But I think Pam Bondi is doing a good job as Attorney General. She filed an ethics complaint against James Boasberg for comments that he made apparently to a law school where he's trashing President Trump, claiming that he's violating the Constitution, doing all kinds of things that judges, according to their code of judicial conduct, should not talk about politics. Of course, we know another ultra-leftist, a DIA judge, who's dumber than rock, and I don't mean this in any racist sense, but the only reason that she's now a Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is because she was a black woman, and that's why Biden put her on the bench. Biden could have found qualified, intelligent black people to put on the bench, but he didn't. He took someone out of the DC court system. She used to be on the district court over there that I'm talking about. She was dumber than a rock. She didn't even know what the Freedom of Information Act was to any great extent when I appeared in front of her. But these are the kinds of people that are making these political remarks. They're becoming politicians. They are politicians. They're showing their true colors. I commend Pam Bondi for filing this ethics complaint. But where did it go? And where does it go in all these courts? And I've been filing them for years. It goes to a judicial council comprised of judges who are friends with the judge who's being complained of. They sit on the same court. They have lunch together. They socialize together. They scratch each other's backs. They protect each other. There, by the grace of God, goes thee. That complaint will go nowhere. It's great for public relations. And that's why we, the American people, need to rise up. We need to hold these federal judges accountable. We need to put them before a citizens' grand jury. They need to be indicted. They need to be tried. They need to be convicted. And they need to be thrown in the slammer for a period of time so they sober up and they do their job. And that's what I'm asking you to do. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. Join our Justice League. Sign up. Donate with tax-deductible contributions. You can also go there and sign up to be a citizen grand juror. If you haven't been convicted of a felony, and even if you have, it was unjust, we'll consider putting you on the grand jury. You need just to take an oath that you'll be fair and neutral, nonpartisan, facts are strong enough to convict many of these judges. And you can read about them in my most recent book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America, which goes through the corruption on the DC District Court, in the appellate courts, and in other courts throughout this country, and goes into the corruption in the DC District of Columbia Bar. It's a disciplinary council which work in conjunction with these corrupt judges to try to eliminate conservative lawyers from the practice of law. I've been fighting them for 14 years. I have many lawsuits pending against them. We need your help on that too. So God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. Please support what we're doing with these federal judges. The complaint by Pam Bondi, I commend her for doing it. Good public relations, won't go anywhere. Fellow judges in that courthouse will protect Boasberg and throw that complaint in the trash. 100%. There's no doubt about it. That's the way it works. The system is rigged. And we need also to take apart the legal system, to put it back together on behalf of the American people. Freedom Watch has formed a Department of Judicial and Legal Accountability. We have prominent people sitting on our advisory committee. We'll be announcing that shortly. We're waiting for the right moment. It is a complement to DOJ, the Department of Government Accountability. And this is something that needs to be done. We need to revamp our entire legal system, in particular, how we choose federal judges, not on the basis of legalized bribery, which is where it is today, but on the basis of who's the best and the brightest. We don't have that. Judges are our most important public servants. Generally speaking, they would protect us from the tyranny of ourselves and the tyranny of government, but unfortunately, that's not the way it worked out. Thomas Jefferson had it right. The federal judges, by and large, have become despots and tyrants and believe they can do whatever they want because they think they have life tenure, which they don't. They only serve for good behavior. They can be removed. But in 250 years, only 8 have been removed, and mostly for drunkenness and not showing up for work, not for taking bribes, not for other illegal acts. Some judges were even accused of sexual abuse, and they were left on the bench because their fellow judges protected them. That's where we are. You need a Freedom Watch. It's why I formed Judicial Watch in 1994. It's why I now run freedomwatchusa.org, doing many of the things that I used to do at Judicial Watch, hard-hitting legal cases, and of course, this new agenda and concept of bringing about criminal justice ourselves, we the American people. We have the ability to do that. Justice Scalia ruled in 1992 in a case, United States versus Williams, for the majority of the Supreme Court, that the grand jury belongs to the American people, not the 3 branches of government. Now's the time to be President Trump's partner. He needs the help right now. He can't do it alone. Pam Bondi at Attorney General can't do it alone. You need a Freedom Watch. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause, get my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for listening to me.